Arizona is a state that balances landlord and tenant interests with a well-structured statutory framework. And given the state's explosive growth in recent years, understanding these laws has never been more important. Arizona's landlord-tenant law is found in the Arizona Residential Landlord and Tenant Act, Arizona Revised Statutes, Title 33, Chapter 10. Under Section 33-1324, Arizona landlords have a detailed set of obligations. You must comply with all applicable building codes, housing codes, and health codes that materially affect health and safety. You're required to make all repairs and do whatever is necessary to keep the premises in a fit and habitable condition. That means maintaining the structural components in good repair, keeping plumbing systems functioning with hot and cold running water, ensuring electrical systems are safe, providing adequate heating and cooling systems, and in Arizona, cooling is the critical one, maintaining supplied appliances in working condition, providing working smoke detectors, keeping common areas safe and clean, providing adequate trash receptacles, and supplying running water at all times. Let's talk about air conditioning, because in Arizona, this isn't just a comfort issue, it's a survival issue. Summer temperatures in Phoenix, Tucson, and the surrounding desert communities routinely exceed 110 degrees and have reached 120 degrees in extreme heat events. A broken air conditioning system in an Arizona summer is a medical emergency waiting to happen, especially for elderly tenants, young children, and anyone with respiratory or cardiovascular conditions. Arizona courts treat cooling failures during summer months as serious habitability violations, and landlords are expected to respond with the same urgency that a Minnesota landlord would respond to a heating failure in January. Arizona's repair process is one of the most clearly defined in the country. When a tenant identifies a habitability issue, they must provide the landlord with written notice under Section 33-1361. The landlord then has specific timeframes to respond, depending on the severity. For conditions that are not emergencies, the landlord has 10 days to make the repair. For conditions that materially affect health and safety and can be remedied in 5 days or less, the landlord has 5 days. And for conditions that pose an immediate threat, like no air conditioning in extreme heat, a gas leak, or a sewage backup, the landlord must respond immediately. If the landlord fails to act within the required window, Arizona gives tenants several powerful remedies. Under Section 33-1363, if the noncompliance materially affects health and safety, the tenant can give written notice of intent to terminate the lease if the issue isn't corrected within 5 days. If the landlord still doesn't act, the tenant can terminate and move out. The tenant can also recover actual damages caused by the landlord's noncompliance. Arizona also provides the repair and deduct remedy under Section 33-1363. If the landlord fails to make a repair after proper notice, and the cost of the repair is less than $300 or half the monthly rent, whichever is greater, the tenant can hire someone to make the repair and deduct the actual cost from the next month's rent. The tenant can use this remedy up to 2 times in any 12-month period. This is a well-defined process with clear dollar limits, which gives both landlords and tenants predictability. For essential services failures, meaning no water, no hot water, no heat, no cooling, no electricity, or no gas, Arizona has an additional remedy under Section 33-1364. If the landlord deliberately or negligently fails to supply an essential service, the tenant can give reasonable notice and then pursue one of several options. They can procure reasonable substitute housing during the period the service is unavailable and deduct the cost from rent. They can recover damages based on the diminished fair rental value of the unit. Or they can procure the essential service themselves and deduct the cost from rent. Arizona's rapid population growth has transformed the rental market, particularly in the Phoenix metro area, Tucson, and communities like Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, and Scottsdale. This growth has brought increased scrutiny to rental housing conditions and more active code enforcement in many municipalities. Phoenix has its own neighborhood services department that handles housing complaints and conducts inspections. Tucson and other cities have similar programs. One thing Arizona landlords should pay particular attention to is the state's swimming pool safety requirements. Many Arizona rental properties include pools, and the state has specific statutes and local codes governing pool fencing, gates, and safety barriers. Failure to comply with pool safety requirements creates significant liability, especially given the tragically high number of child drowning incidents in Arizona each year. Arizona's desert climate also creates unique maintenance challenges beyond air conditioning. Monsoon season brings intense rain, flooding, and dust storms that can damage roofing, cause water intrusion, and create mold issues if moisture isn't managed quickly. The extreme UV exposure degrades exterior materials faster than in less sunny climates, meaning that roofing, paint, and weatherproofing need more frequent attention. And the arid conditions can cause foundation issues in properties built on expansive clay soils, which are common in parts of the Phoenix and Tucson areas. Arizona's anti-retaliation protections are found in Section 33-1381. Landlords cannot increase rent, decrease services, or file for eviction in retaliation for a tenant making a good faith complaint to a government agency about code violations, complaining to the landlord about habitability issues, or organizing or joining a tenants organization. If a landlord takes adverse action within 6 months of the tenant's protected activity, there is a presumption of retaliation that the landlord must overcome. For the complete guide to Arizona habitability laws, visit tenantscreeningbackgroundcheck.com. Subscribe to our channel for every state in our landlord-tenant law series.